I would like to quote a former commander of mine who, speaking about the Israel Air Force Museum, said that the future of the Air Force lies in the museum because all the aircraft and all the pilots will end up in the museum. Geriatrics is very much like that. It's the future of medicine. As the population ages, hopefully most people will become old. And as we become older, naturally there are more diseases. It becomes more and more complicated to deal with elderly people. The elderly patient is not a grown-up adult. The elderly patient has a whole slew of problems which are unique to the elderly, very much the same as pediatrics has a whole slew of problems which are related specifically to children. So you could say that much the same as you have a pediatrician dealing with children, so you have a geriatrician dealing with the elderly. And although I'm a surgeon by training, the work of most physicians today, except maybe for obstetricians and pediatricians, most of our work is with the elderly. I feel that the investment that people make today in the care of the elderly is an investment in themselves. If most of us are going to be old, and most of us are going to need medical care when we're old, then the time to invest, very much like an insurance policy, is whilst we're young and healthy. And we should build up the geriatric care so that both our parents, our friends, our relatives, our acquaintances, and ultimately ourselves will all receive the best medical care possible at that very time of life when we do need it most of all. And therefore I think the investment should be made not just by the governments. Governments can only do a certain amount. It's up to the individual to help contribute and to help build up. Why in Israel? Because so many people retire to Israel, so many people, I would almost say, benefit from the medical care in Israel, even though throughout the generations, throughout the years, they haven't given to Israel. They have built up their own careers, they've built up their lives in many countries across the globe. Comes the day when they want to retire, they decide to retire to Israel. So they're actually living off the investment of the Israeli government and without having really contributed. So I think it only befits people to help build up the geriatric care in Israel whilst they can, whilst they're benefiting from the lives they've built themselves in other countries.